guys, welcome back to my channel, Awakened Empath. Today I want to talk to you guys about leveling up spiritually. There's a few different ways how you can do that. One way I definitely recommend, like the very first thing I would say that you should do is to try and start meditating. There's so many different ways and styles of meditating. I really believe that everybody can learn to meditate. You just have to find the right style for you. There's guided meditations, there's binaural beats, there's just sitting in silence. There's all different kind of things, but you kind of have to do that research on your own, figure out what is the best for you. I know a lot of people say I can't sit still for that, or I can't calm my mind. But I promise you there are things out there that will specifically cater to your type of mental style, especially if you set the intention and you ask the universe to direct you to the right type of meditational material for you. But it's so important for you to be able to shed the ego for a little bit, get connected to your higher self, and get connected to the universe. Let those messages and feelings of well-being come to you from the universe. That's what happens when you meditate, and it's awesome. And that's definitely one way that I really highly recommend you try and level up spiritually if that's something that you're looking to do. Secondly, of course, you can do research. You can go on YouTube, you can go on Google, you can go to the library. There's thousands and thousands of texts on spirituality, different modes of spirituality, different enlightened people who have come here during different times and shared their knowledge of the universe with us. I mean, the avenues out there are just amazing. You can spend a lifetime just, learning spiritually. Find something that resonates with you. And usually what happens is the universe puts something else in place right when you're going to finish that one thing. It will put something else in front of you to make a connection that you needed to know, to put these building blocks together so you can develop a more well-rounded sense of your own spirituality. I definitely feel like that's how it happened for me, is that, I started with The Alchemist 20 years ago by Paulo Coelho, and, it's taken me a while to get to this point in my journey where I have become much, much more spiritual. But at every corner I turned when I needed it, something else spiritual put itself in place for me to open up my eyes just a little bit more, which eventually facilitated my awakening in 2016. But yeah, I mean, if it's anything, if you feel any calling at this point, any urge to try and investigate stuff like that, I highly, highly recommend it. It's so easy these days. I mean, there's so many YouTube videos out there. I'm an audio learner. I love to listen to things rather than read so much. So, that's been a really easy avenue for me to learn so many different things spiritually. So I definitely recommend that. A third thing I do recommend is setting time aside for being alone. In addition to meditating, just being alone, being able to concentrate on your own thoughts, being able to, again, step outside of your ego and let your higher self come in. Being out in nature, recharging, all that kind of thing, that really helps with just enabling you to reconnect with your higher self, and get those messages that want to come through all day, but you block out because we're so busy. And you know, I really believe that we are getting daily guidance from the universe on, you know, what our next step should be, what the right path is, what the right decision is. And if we don't give ourselves time alone every day to tune in and listen to our higher selves, then there's probably a lot of things that we're missing. And life could be a lot easier, but we ignore the gift that we get by being able to listen to our own higher selves, our intuition, and the universe's guidance. So that's number 3. The 4th one is something that's a little bit more major and long-term. What I'm talking about is completing cycles in your life. Now, we are all infinite beings here on earth having a physical existence, but we are infinite beings that have come here down to this dense earth, this 3D place, to enable for our soul's growth. And the real way our souls grow is by going through crazy, challenging life experiences, coming out the other end and leveling up. Literally leveling up on earth and spiritually. When you complete a cycle, when you overcome something that has been super challenging, your higher self gets such a boost. I can't even explain it. It's just a really powerful thing. And it raises your vibration here on earth as well. So you're double punching it. You're getting 2 birds with 1 stone. Not an easy thing. I mean, cycles can be serious things. And, you know, when I just completed, it was a big setting boundaries test. This past Mercury retrograde, those of you who don't know yet, I'm kind of into astrology, so I'll be throwing astrology things in here once in a while. But this past Mercury retrograde really threw me for a loop. I thought that I had this boundary thing nailed. And, you know, I passed. It turns out that I did, but the universe wanted to make sure that I was knowing exactly why and how I had to set this boundary, and why it's important for me to protect my own soul, why it's important for us to protect our individual souls the very most, because no one else will. We have to do it ourselves. The universe wanted to make sure that I learned this lesson fully, completely, and it repeatedly tested me over this past Mercury retrograde. I couldn't even believe how many times the same issue was required of me to set boundaries on, and it wasn't even by only one single person. But I know that it's the end of a cycle for me, and I know that I am climbing the ladder, and I know that it was important for me to protect my soul at that time, and I feel so good about doing that. And you know, sometimes the universe is so awesome that it will show you immediately how well you've done. A friend of mine came to me and asked me for something that was going to be extremely hard for me to do. It was going to be a big, it wasn't going to be easy for me to help this person in this way. A very good friend, and I wanted to help badly, but I had to say no. I knew the universe was saying, this is a hard one, what are you gonna do? So I said no, and I kid you not, within an hour of me saying no to this person, he received a phone call from someone else in his family, literally providing him a whole new solution. And since he's taken that solution, he's gone on a whole new journey, and it seems like it totally worked out for him, and it totally worked out for me, because I didn't have to sacrifice myself unnecessarily, and I knew that it was going to be a detrimental sacrifice to my actual soul if I took this on. So, you know, things like that, major things in your life where you conquer a tendency, where you complete a cycle, and you don't go back. In the tarot, there's two cards that talk about cycles. There's the Wheel of Fortune, which is a repeating cycle. Can be a repeating cycle. And there's the World, and the World is an end of a cycle. You want to be at the World. You want to be farther along. You want the World card. You don't want the Wheel of Fortune. You don't want to keep repeating these cycles. I've done it. And I guarantee if you don't conquer it, it will come back. It will keep testing you. The universe will keep testing you. If you have a soul lesson to learn here in life, you know, all of us have a few big soul lessons to learn here in life. Mine is self-worth and boundaries. That's one of the huge ones. That's why I'm here talking to you guys on these videos, because so many people I know suffer from that, and it's way too common. We should all be empowering ourselves and protecting our souls and loving ourselves, not in a narcissistic way, but in a loving soul way. If we don't love ourselves, we can't love anybody else, truly. And you know, I don't think you guys can disagree with me on that. So anyways, I just want to give you guys some encouragement. Anybody that's out there going through a cycle and trying to navigate, you know, the different ways that we have to make way through challenges in this life, be strong, love your soul, love yourself. It's not a bad thing. It's super important in order for you to give to anybody else. And level up spiritually, because it's an awesome feeling to finally overcome something that, you know, you have a challenge, it's challenged you for quite a long time. So everybody, love and light. I wish you the best week, and I'll talk to you soon.